just for the future to see if it's an option to
It works.
use.
Yeah, it's live now, so it
Um,
seems to have worked.
yeah, so I'm just setting that link, creating that link. Otherwise, Leto, how's it going with work? Are you busy? Has it been, how's lockdown been?
So having already been um someone that's been based from home and has to constantly move to where the clients are. I haven't really struggled in this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've been fine actually. I've gotten a bit more clients coming in uh, uh, and a few more new clients. So
Mm-hmm.
it's been good. I do miss going out and seeing people. I've seen that because we aren't all used to being here, we're
Mm-hmm.
not as authentic as we would
Mm.
be. So I miss the face to face stuff. So I'm not gonna lie about that. But otherwise, I've been okay.
Yeah,
Okay, many
I've been the
days.
same actually. Actually, it's just recently that work started getting a bit quiet. But then at the end of last week, then you get two, three things again. And then, this week
Right?
I'm like frenzied. I'm trying to think, okay, how am I going to manage all these things? So I've been blessed, I must say. I really feel blessed that I've had work and I've been able to give some women work. And yeah, but I'm also like, I'm enough now with this lockdown story. I'm like,
Yeah.
last week, Sunday, for the first time, I went to have coffee with a friend and it was fine. And then this coming Wednesday, I've made another appointment with someone. So I'm slowly trying to, just get out because, this working from home story, it can become really claustrophobic.
It can. And thing is, if especially I'm very conscious of the effect it has had on our families, on
Mm,
our
mm,
personal relationships. It has been good to a point, and I'm very happy for that. But at the same time, I'm seeing how it's important that we have our personal time, our personal space too. It's just
yes.
revealed that more and more.
No, I agree completely. And with me, it's been, at least with my daughter, she's had online schooling until last week. Um,
She went back to school to, yeah,
so I think
school.
she's also happy to be going back to school. But it's just been the two of us in each other's company all the time. And it's
Mm,
like, at times it's like, we needed to get out. But yeah, I mean, it's lockdown's been good for a number of things for me as well. I've saved a lot of money. I've been able to pay stuff faster.
it's amazing how we spend when we're
Huh?
out there, right? You realize
And
like,
you
hey,
don't
but we,
realize it, eh?
I was
Between petrol
and
and
focus
eating out, I'm like, I've saved thousands. I can't believe it.
and fuel. But now, how strange is that the insurance folks now are saying that we will pay you to stay at home or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just like, hey, so why do we have cars? I'm just asking, but yeah.
No, really, it's just been I really, there's been a lot of good for me in lockdown. It's really helped me consolidate things like some of my finances, investments,
Mm, wow.
focus, stop buying so much takeaway food and, all this kind of stuff,
Because now you're
cooking
thinking
more and
sanitized food. Is this food even
Uh,
sanitized, right?
uh, and before that, we couldn't even order, right? So you had to kind of buy groceries and cook yourself. So between Farah and I, we used to take turns to cook.
I
And
saw had a bit of a cooking spree that you once shared. Like, I'm cooking this, I'm cooking my mom's dish. I'm like, hey, we're cooking.
yes, I did all of that stuff. And in fact, actually, I want to. My mom, I have an old written cookbook of my mom's. So I've been thinking I want to start using it, I want to start cooking everything in there and then maybe adapt it to my own style. And maybe from there could emerge a different cooking book between, like a
Wow.
collaboration between me and her, even though she's not here anymore, something like
And
that.
that's legacy, right?
Mm, mm.
That's legacy.
So we'll
And
see. Let's see, um, just checking on participants. So what's your book about?
so it's actually just a reflection of what Corona has been to us, right? So we've all had
Mm,
our different experiences, or we've all seen things in a different way. So we
mm-hmm,
each have a chapter, and
mm-hmm,
in the chapter we can then kind of share on that. So for
mm-hmm.
my own chapter, I'm just kind of sharing. So I'm just trying to confirm, because there's someone who was going to come, and now she's saying that she's not coming. So I'm just saying, okay, it's cool, no biggie. Um,
Okay.
um, Subramani, okay. I'm sending you the people who said that they're coming, and they haven't said that no, I'm not coming through anymore. So let's see.
Okay, as long as I'll just, because I have to let them in through the waiting room.
It's women, hey, it's all women.
Yeah, okay,
One,
cool.
two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If they all
So
come through.
they have the thing with the password, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Um, so I was saying that my chapter is on how COVID has actually changed my my tolerance, my perceptions, and my demands on leadership. I think seeing
Mm,
some of what has happened in terms of how we are led, how they make decisions has actually challenged me, but more coming from the fact that I feel that Cyril, and I still feel that way. Yes, he'll do something and we're like, oh, Cyril's being progressive, but I don't feel that he leads from a place of care, right? He seems to be a very transactional type of leader, and if you actually cared for your people, I think some of the decisions that were made would have been a little bit different, right? Um, it would have acted a lot sooner. It would have been a lot more um, thought, thoughtful too in some of the lockdown rules, especially in the poorer towns. Um, yeah, so just some of that is going to come through there, and why I'm saying so. You're on mute.
let me unmute. So I've let, is it the Roshni in, and I'm just starting to let people in as they come in. Uh, Letu, we have to, I think the thing with Cyril is we have to, it's recognizing where he comes from and who he is, right? So he's a man who's had access to a lot of resources, who thinks from that point of view. Um, and I think it's always just been, if you see all the support that's been given to big business compared to everyone else, it, in a sense, it makes sense for me that he did that. It's very problematic, but I can't say I'm surprised. And I think this idea that big business, if you support big business, they will grow they will start facilitating opportunities for employees and for small business and so on and so on. But actually, that's not the case, and we've seen it now. And big business are the ones that are now retrenching and getting rid of people and so on. So, but yet they've been getting so much money and so much, resources have been put towards them. So I don't really know where we're going to end up with this thing.
It's just, it was very disheartening to really have that penny dropping tab where I realized we are led by a state that doesn't really care. I just felt uncared for. I'm like, you guys don't really care about us, do you? At what point is there care? So yeah, that was me, and that's my reflections in it.
Yeah, no, I think we just have to make peace with the patriarchal nature of the system and how it operates from that state of mind. Everything else becomes secondary. You saw the issue of GBV. It's only when they realized, oh my lord, it's becoming a crisis, then they decided to act instead of anticipating that it's likely to be an issue. Even though Cyril has been the champion of the new national strategic plan on GBV, he completely forgot about it in all his disaster management strategies.
It didn't click that this could be a problem
Yeah,
for some
yeah,
people. This
yeah,
could be a prison, right?
yeah.
Um,
So that's kind of the things that we are having to deal with. We have, hi, Roshni and Tembekile Maseko. Welcome. We're just waiting for a couple of other people to join and then we'll start. Um, I hope you can hear me. Okay, there's Wabongi joining. I think we'll give it about 2 more minutes and then we'll start later. Others can
sure.
join as we go along because we just have an hour and I don't want us to lose, um, the time. Welcome, Bongi.
Thank you, Shireen. Thank you. Hi, guys. How are you doing?
Well, thanks, Bongi. Thank you. How are you doing?
Very well, thanks. Thanks for asking. Lethumusa, ne?
That's right. Yes.
So we're kind of doing this via Zoom and YouTube. So I'm just trying to test how, if it's possible for us to be able to in future use YouTube for this. So if you struggle a bit, I've shared on the group the link. Later, I'll share with you also on your group. Then you can share with your people the link, the YouTube link. So if people need to join via that. Welcome, Nomsa.
Hey, Shireen. Hi, everybody.
Lovely to have you here.
Well, it's great to take part in this is the first Zoom,
Yes.
right, of this group.
Yep. Okay, so I think we should start and then others can join as we go. I hope I can kind of keep an eye on the joining and the session and so on. Leto, are you ready for us to start?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Uh, for those of you who are not speaking, please do put yourself on mute and then we'll use the raise your hand feature to get you to engage throughout the session. So just on an official level, welcome everybody. Thanks so much for making the time. Okay, let me just record. Thank you so much for making the time to be with us this evening. This conversation tonight is our first in the series of the Business Diva Conversations. I really started this initiative because I over the lockdown, I've seen that there are lots of women-owned businesses that were really struggling. And as usual, Leto and I were just talking now about how government has been fairly blind in relation to identifying, the specific challenges that women have been facing through this time. But I've also, in my coaching business, coached women at different levels in different spaces. And I find that they seem to suffer the same challenges all the time. And I thought maybe having a group of women, like minded women, all at different levels, but who are wanting to learn, who are wanting to share and contribute. Um, we could set up this group and then see how we could help each other do that. So this conversation with Letu, I wanted to do this one because I've known Letu, it must be 3 years now. I think we met when Letu signed up for a free coaching session with me. And I think you were kind of starting out your journey then, but I think you must say more about that. So I'm very pleased that Lethumusa Kulube has joined us. She is the CEO of Stractiv8 Impact, and she will tell us more about what the company does. So welcome, Letu.
Thank you so much, Shireen. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Hello, Tembi. Hello, Trashni, Nomsa, and Oniwe. Thank you for coming through. I acknowledge you. As Shireen has said, I am sorry. I am Lethumusa Kulube, and the founder of Stractiv8 Impact. I started the company. Well, I actually registered the company in 2006, and I went full time into it in about 2017, late 2017. What late 2017? What was actually mostly meant to be a company that helps small companies create their websites and get good traction on social media, has actually transitioned quite a chunk in those years to actually offering a more end-to-end digital comms and marketing, but more zoned in on the non profit and social change space. So I work with clients that have a formal non-profit, say for example a civil 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 society group, or a school, and I help them really get to grips on how to talk to the people that they want to reach, and how to craft their content to engage them more. And that's basically what I do in my business.
Thanks so much. Before we get into detail, I just wanted to get to know you a little bit on a personal level before I ask all the business questions. So tell us a little bit about what you were like as a little girl and where did you grow up?
Well, I grew up in SA. I was born in bred here, but from a family that comes from Zimbabwe. So we spent a lot of time crossing the border to see our family quite a bit. I was an awkwardish child, and I still feel that that has conveyed into adulthood. The only changes I'm okay now with being not commonly viewed. I lost my mom at a very young age. And I think from there actually was where a chunk of my response and coping tools came from. I'm very I'm very I'm very grateful to have been exposed to good help, good coaching, good counseling too, and I've carried some of that over through to my adult life. Um, it's actually quite weird. I used to always want to be a social worker, and I just thought, no, I can't, because I hear how often they say that they don't get cash, right? And I'm like, no, I can't be broke. I need money. So I went and studied went and studied software development for a the year. And whilst I struggled on the content side, I clicked quite well on a personal side with the actual software guys that I met. So as time went on, I think all of that time in my youth was of great value when I actually worked in IT, and that played its self through. I my last formal job, my last formal job actually was as a actually as a strategy manager for the chief technology office in an um, in the corporate sector. So these dots actually tie into each other at some point or another. But I think the crux coming through is I like like people. I can't help but help people, but at the same time, I've learned the power of tech and how to translate that to help
Mhm.
help to more of us.
Okay, great. So Leto, tell us why did you leave your cushy corporate job and decide to start your own thing and suffer a little bit in the small business sector?
Yeah, I think I think um, I actually often say that if I had known that the suffering would be so hard, I don't know if I was going to leave, right? But yes, so I knew that I had a skill, I had a talent, and I felt constrained in that the only people I could help were the people from a corporate from a corporate context. So I mean, in my old company, we ran projects and other stuff for the client care team and all those other internal teams. But I started getting frustrated in that I'm really constrained to only helping where I am here. And I felt that I have an opportunity. Well, I can help so many more people, but where I have a chance to, and being true to myself, the only chance I had was to leave. And so that actually drove the challenge for me to take the step and leave the bigger corporate cushy life. I mean, I had a beautiful car. I had so much money free at the end of the month. I was eating sushi every week. I was really enjoying it, right? So the shift to being self employed was really a big shift because I didn't think it would be so hectic.
Mhm.
I'm looking at my cash. I'm like, I don't have money. I'm looking, it's empty. And if I, and in the self, in the self, in the self employed space, the truth is, if you don't work, don't eat. So
Mhm.
I had to learn very quickly a number of skills and tactics just to help me get past those times, because it really was hard. I'm not even gonna lie about the hard times; they were gruesome.
I think we can all identify with that hardship piece. Some of us are still in and outing of that occasionally. So,
Yeah, it's brutal.
um, so Letu, before we carry on, I just want to welcome our other guests who've joined us. Welcome. We're into the conversation with Letu now. And please share your name in the chat box, but also if you do, we'd like this to be interactive. So as we go on and you have a question, please use the raise your hand tool on the webinar. For there are those there. I see there are about 3 people watching us on YouTube. So could you share your questions on YouTube, and I will try to make sure I check whether there are any questions there. So as we go on and you have a question, please do raise your hand to alert me so that I can then let you engage with Letu. Okay, Letu, let's get on. I wanted to ask you about this thing about skills, right? So you mentioned skills, and I wanted to check with you when you moved into starting your own business, what skills did you really feel you needed at that point when you started? And in terms of where you are at now, how has that changed? You know, what kind of skills are you needing to have now in a growing business? Has it changed, or do you feel it's the same?
So they haven't really changed, I guess. They will level or or the um, um, the intensity of the skill has probably changed,
Mm-hmm.
but the skills are pretty much the same. I had to learn how to sell, right? If you can't sell, you're not going to
Mm,
get any
mm,
new things coming in, and therefore you're not going to you're not going to um um uh, um, um going to invoice anyone, right? And I remember in the first few months, there was a time when I was at home literally for one solid week. I was at home. I hadn't gone out the front door. I just literally was at home and I'm chilling there, I'm thinking. And then I realized, no man, I'm not gonna get anything if I'm gonna sit here at home. I'm not selling. So let me try and sell. And when I started to sell a bit more on my face book page and my LinkedIn page too, I learned that you can start selling, but then folks want to see you, right? So then
mm-hmm.
I started to go out more because you want to be seen with the people, you want to be engaged. So the skill that I learned then, and I still have to continue now, even how it's actually changed, is to sell. We have to have clients, have to have clients who we kind of link to quite well, and clients that pay well, right? We hate clients that
Mm-hmm.
don't like to pay, or clients that pay at their pay late. You'll find a great mix, especially in how you sell, so as to actually attract the right type of client. As time went on, I learned quite hard though, because I don't do counting slash book keeping stuff. That doesn't come to very um, naturally. But now I need to learn how to actually do to actually do proper book keeping. And for the first 3 years, I kind of could have it done, where I learned, okay, I have to do this, I need to know that, I need to know how to track that. But I've gotten to a stage now where I can't do it alone. There are some tough bookkeeping questions that I'm not going to answer. And all of those things tie into how I charge, how I source, how I negotiate. And you can't do all of those things if you haven't got a view of how much you currently have, right? So that was a skill that, and I always said, I hate accounting. I skipped it in school, but it came back to hit me quite hard. I'm like, what's my turnover? I don't know. What's my turnover? What's your gross profit margin? I'm like, I don't know. What's that? And those are questions that you have to at least kind of have an understanding of, right? So those are the two key things that if you can get those two fine, you can actually start to see a bit of growth, where it is that you have your business.
So I want to, I mean, there are a couple of things in what you said that I want to come back to, but I want to just reflect on this finance idea, right? Because I think that we often think, oh, I need to just sell the stuff and, I'll worry about the money later, or, I don't keep track of what's going on. But from my own journey, I've also learned that it's so important to keep track of your money on a constant basis, to see where it's going, to see where a gap might come up, and so on. So I've also invested in having an accountant, for example, who does books for me every month. And on my own, I do a kind of cash flow tracker where I check, what did I spend last month? What's the likelihood of the money coming in the next 6 months? What are my expenses going to look like? Where do I need to cut? So I keep really strict track of my money, of my expenses. And now with technology, you have to pay for MailChimp, and you have to pay for Zoom, and you have to pay for all kinds of unnecessary things that you need. So your money can kind of slip away from you, and you're not sure about what's happening. So I would recommend having either a bookkeeper or bookkeeping software at a basic level, to be able to keep track and to also try and plan ahead, right? So do you want to talk to us a little bit about how do you plan ahead around your finances, and what have you learned about managing money as a business owner?
So I'm first going to say that it is important that we start somewhere, and we make all the mistakes as early in as we can. You weren't going to apply some of what you've now started had you not made those early mistakes, right? So it's important that we had that experience, so as to help us become a little bit more stricter, a bit more more conscious too of how we approach it, right? I think what has been a challenge to me that I've had to really get in is I'm quite strict on my clients in terms of scope
Mhm.
creep. I
Mhm.
had I had to switch and start to apply that same level of strictness on me as well, and on how I manage my money. Because any scope creep actually hurts me, hurts my own books quite a chunk, and it would actually cost you so much more than had you not taken the time to just plan out what it is that we need, right?
Mhm.
So planning is a critical thing, but you can only plan where you've had the time to start and learn.
Mhm.
That's an important part. I think something else that I've learned that I quite I quite value is actually taking time to actually test out things, right?
Mhm.
I was very loyal to a piece of software quite early on, and I was kind of, no, it works for me. It's going to
Mhm.
constantly do the things for me. But in truth, by taking the time to take off the blinkers and actually see what the other what the what the other competition have. I then learned how to save quite a chunk of money, and because I
Mhm.
can actually compare, right? So
Mhm.
that's something quite important, especially as you are planning your money for the next quarter, for the next 6 months. Also, to please have it planned in smaller chunks. It helps you
Mhm.
when things change often, especially nowadays, right? Things are changing
Mhm.
so fast that you can't really plan too
Try it.
far out. So
Mhm.
have like a short-term plan, but also see some of what you can take advantage 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 of too. And very similarly to how I said, how strict I am now on my clients doing scope creep. That same way, that's same approach, that same thinking is how actually now been placed on to me now. I'm very strict
Mhm.
in terms of it, uh, how where something has not been planned for, I can't just do it. I have to actually
Mhm. Mhm.
reflect on, why do I want this? Why do I need it? And kind of understand
Mhm.
from there.
Okay. Are there any questions for Letu before I jump in with mine again? Letu, I want to come back to the idea about the selling and the clients, right? And then how you package your services and so on. Because I find that a lot of women, including myself, and I'm also still on that journey of trying to, be clearer all the time. It's when you ask who is your client, it's very difficult for them to answer that question. Then they say, no, I help, like I often say, I help women, but I have had to start thinking clearer about what does that mean? Who are those women that I help? what service is it that I'm offering which women? So what are their ages? What are their races? What professions are they in? All of those kinds of things. But I find that women struggle a lot. I mean, a lot of SMMEs, for that matter, struggle a lot with being really clear about who is your client. And with you, I know there's been some transition in terms of who your client is, right? So you, in your growth journey, you've been able to also distill that even more and even more. So tell us a little bit about, how you figured out who is your client, and also how do you reach that client in terms of the selling piece?
So what I found helped me just in fine tuning that was to link the type of client I want with the type of with the type of work, which actually sits quite close to my passion. Where if the client can phone me now, I'm not even gonna be like, oh, this person is calling. Okay, cool. We're ready to run. We're ready to roll. That helps. So having a client linked to your value and to your passion helped quite a chunk. And very similarly to how I said at the start, I love to help people, and seeing people um, grow, 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 grow their different streams. That's the more kind of softer, but more more key, more important parts. Anyway, for me, I then from there had to really challenge my type of client to the point where if a client is a new non-profit, is it someone that kind of knows what they're about, or they're also in the self in the self finding, or self self exploring phase. And I actually came to the conclusion that my clients can't be folks who've been in their sector or in their skill for anything less than 5 to 7 years. It will be someone that has already tried, someone that has seen what works for them, and someone that actually most probably has a strategy and can proceed further with that. I often say that comms and marketing aren't key pillars. Um, 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 they are actually support, right? And I can't come in where someone hasn't got a strategy that comes and comes and marketing can support. Because if it's anything shorter, it's just not going to work out. The client will then struggle to see what they had hoped to see, but you often find that they don't really know what they wanted to see. So anyway, it's never going to work out. So those were the two components that actually helped me kind of fine tune the type of client I target, and it's actually helped me learn how to say no to some clients too, right? Someone would come, hey, listen, I've heard that you offer this. Can we talk more? Sure. And through the conversations, I actually can see I can't help this person. We actually can't work together, and it's so much safer to either pass on work, or to just say flat out no to it. The than to always go from a point of view of I need the money. Although it's quite hard
Yes.
to say no, I
Yes.
need the money. I always
Yes.
take it. You'll always
Mm-hmm.
actually spend so much more of your strength um, um, than what you're gonna get back and actually
Okay.
give the
Mm-hmm.
client.
Okay. Nomsa, I see your hand. Before we go to Nomsa, I just want to read Bonki's question. Bonki wants to know, how do you view partnership? Often clients are looking for a set of competencies that might not necessarily be found in a single person, and yet they would value having a single contract as opposed to multiple. And then I'll let Nomsa ask a question and then you can respond to both. Is that
Okay,
okay?
that's fine.
Nomsa, please go ahead. Nomsa, you're muted in case you forgot.
Sorry about that. Letty, you mentioned earlier that you use LinkedIn and Facebook as platforms to market your business. Although you learned that you also had to go out there and sell, sort of just direct selling. But I'm just interested in the use of those platforms and the kind of value that they can serve for a business from a marketing and promotional standpoint. I certainly don't. If I use myself, I belong to LinkedIn, but I really haven't a clue how it works and how to really maximize it, and the same with Facebook. So if you could just talk about those platforms and how one can get more value out of them as a business owner, that would be great.
Okay, cool. Sure. Thanks, Nomsa. I think I'll start with the question that's in the chat from Swongiwe. So it's tricky, right? They want you to have a partner, but then you'll find that they're trying to cut costs because ish, if it's us two, then you'll probably charge us too much, and it's always a bit of a conundrum. Something that I've spent quite a chunk of time doing, and I'm going to do it a lot more intensely now, is actually to strengthen my my um, 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 network. So I always tell clients that, listen, if you want something done and it's not sitting in my company, there's always someone that can do it. And trust me, we're all friends. So I don't sound, I actually don't have it sold sold as a sold as a partnership. I have it sold more as a as a network. I always say that you're not going to find one company having this whole broad spectrum of skills that will do all of those things that a client wants perfectly. The strength of my sector lies in its networks. It's actually quite insane that there's no competition really per se, that that's a client of mine that you stole, or that's our sector. We know that we all bring different skills, different strengths, and where someone has a strength that isn't quite there, we have someone that can be can be can be brought in to actually subcontract. The key is to be very transparent about that with your clients. And for me, I haven't had a client that says, no, that's not what we want yet. They're very comfortable with it being me, but I have a team and a network. but as I said, going forward, I actually want to get, I actually want to literally sign, have those like formal, those formal strategic partnerships in place, but that's more from a from a for, that's more from a business development point of view. That's a separate discussion for another day. Just in terms of the question from Nomsa, content, content, content. I find that by actually putting out content which shows how much your company knows, how much of a skills that you have to offer, and how much value that you can how much value that you can bring can actually attract possible clients to contact you. The whole post of Black Friday post where if you have one, you'll get another one free. Those don't really attract the type of clients that you probably want want to attract. You'll find that you have you'll have a you'll have a few folks coming to you and they say, oh, how much? I actually call them the how muches. So the type of content that you should be sharing should actually speak more and support more of your more put more of your more of your value proposition. I'll share a story. About 2 years back, was it 2 years or one year back? I don't know about time anymore. I'm a little bit lost with time. I shared a post on, well, not a post. I shared a article on LinkedIn where I actually just shared why it's so key for us to really spend time and actually spend time in in growing our personal plans, right? I shared three short points which I felt were kind of were were kind of unique, right? I just kind of shared it. I got two I got two leads and one client from that. So I actually didn't go out and sell. I just shared, and I shared the value in a conversation, and that's just helped to help me to get clients coming in. I think something that's quite key in that don't post the content with the intent of trying to sell, right? Always post just trying to add value to someone in your network, on your friends list, and let the universe take care of the rest, right? But from those social platforms points of view. The day my shift went more onto the more onto the more onto the more onto the more onto actually sharing value than trying to have people say yes please me too, yes please me
Mm-hmm.
sign up.
Mm-hmm.
I started seeing that shift started to be more of to be more more return on investmentable, if there's such a word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I also wanted to just add to that. There's another question, but we'll get to it now. I wanted to just add to the social media story because, I think that the idea that we will, firstly, I want to say social media is not for everyone, right? So what I find with a lot of women, well, I'm going to say women because I work primarily with women. I find there's already a resistance to social media, or it's too much, I don't like social media. I don't like, saying things. I don't like being visible and things like that. So once you have that problem, then you're going to struggle with social media as a platform for marketing your business. So I think you first have to get over that resistance and recognize, okay, this is a value adding platform for me, for my business, and therefore I have to use it. I currently have a coaching client where, I've had, we can, every time we have a conversation, she's trying to do a little more in terms of LinkedIn, for example, as a platform to start helping her build visibility. But you really have to make a conscious decision about, okay, I'm going to do this. And then the other thing that I found has worked for me is that I don't do everything. So I decide which platforms work for the business that I have, and I focus on those. So I focus on LinkedIn and I focus on Instagram. And for my coaching business, Instagram has been really good in, in starting to help me build a following, starting to get people see that I am a coach, that I do certain things. And then on my LinkedIn for both as well. And I also, I don't necessarily always, have original posts, but I would share value adding things related to the work that I do. I think everyone on there knows I'm a feminist. Everyone on there knows I do women's rights. Everyone knows that I'm pushing a gender equality agenda. And through that, I have been able to get a lot of work, actually. And LinkedIn in particular has been good for my consulting practice. I've had people that have approached me through the inboxing, we're looking for a gender specialist for this, or we wanting to do this, or can you speak at our event, and things like that. So I have found that LinkedIn has been extremely useful. And Nomsa, I will share with you the link for my LinkedIn training and also the ebook. Because I developed that ebook particularly to help women to start getting to grips with particularly LinkedIn, because I see it as, in a sense, the most valuable platform, though others may disagree with me. So I do think there's value in social media, but you really have to be conscious about, what you want to do. And if you feel you can't do it, then get a social media manager to do it for you, an expert who knows what to do, how to do it, and then can do it for you. There was another question, Letu, from Tembekile. She says she loves your approach and embrace of networks within your workspace. But as a relatively new player in the industry, has that not made people take advantage?
So how do I answer that? Yes and no. Very similarly to how we make friends in our social space. You want to try and find people that are very similarly that are very similar in age, probably some a little bit more advanced, probably some are a little bit less kind of into the sector. You want to find people that have a similar value set as you, and you want to find people that you can see yourself with, spending more time with, right? Um, for me, that was, and thing is, you, well, I haven't found a perfect formula to creating networks, but those things help me just kind of figure out, okay, I don't think I can hang, like for example, I can't call a show public someone that's in my network. They'll always be much 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 larger, much more experienced, and can possibly take advantage, take possibly take advantage of me. But I have a colleague, and now honestly colleague, she has a company that's very similar in size. They have a very focused niche skill set that they offer. We saw that we have an opportunity to kind of call on each call on each other at times, and it actually helps quite a chunk that I think she's actually quite a good business woman, right? Just keeping in mind there's no friends really, but there's a but there's a level of peer peer respect that which has to play its half out, and from there, if you don't feel that you are respect that you are respected, then please don't do it.
Mm. Yeah, I fully agree with that. So before we have a few minutes left, there are two things I want to check with you, and the one also relates to Bongi's question. So one of the things that COVID has opened up for us is this idea of how we are adaptable and how we are resilient, in times of crisis. And I think many of us have had to find new and different ways of doing things, of delivering work, of still making money. And so I wanted to ask you, what happened for you in COVID, and how has it helped you in any way to make your business resilient, or do you feel your business was ready for COVID?
Um, so I'll be honest, I was very blessed in that my company was really already kind of set for COVID, right? I have got a team of 4, and we all work from home. I always stalled on getting on getting office space and all of those things, because I thought, I don't think I'm ready for it. And when COVID hit, I'm like, sure, am I glad I didn't get office space, right? I got more client work coming in, because I found that my clients found that since we can't have the face on face com stuff, we have to learn how to talk to our people in a um, new way. Clients who would often say, no, we don't need don't need mail male marketing were now coming to me. Do we need an email? We need a campaign. We need it. And I'm like, oh, hello. I've been saying this for years, but now you're listening to me. Okay, cool. At least you're here now. So I'm very blessed. I'm happy. I'm very thankful that by COVID coming in, it's actually put more of a demand on what I offer for clients. The challenge came in more when I had to now learn how to handle not only like my few clients, but I mean I've got a few things happening. I'm like, okay, wait, I can't actually keep up. So my challenge was having to learn how to scale, how to scale up, right? For me, I still haven't gotten the whole thing right, but it's been a very good lesson, especially since I've always said that, oh, we need to grow. We need to grow. We need to grow. Okay, now we're here. Okay, now what happens when you've grown, right? So it's a learning curve. I've had to now call in for folks who can help. So I'm now spending some time doing my doing my process mapping, getting down some actual down some team culture and policy structures, because we now see that we have to bring in folks. And I often tell my team that, you know, we are so flexible and responsive that we can't want the same for everyone that's coming in, because it's hard. So the challenge actually comes more from having to grown so grown so grown so fast, and how to not lose the how to not lose the quality my current clients have come to know.
Mm.
That's what COVID has actually been a challenge of having to grow.
So, I mean, and on that note of growth, I wanted to end with asking you if you could give us any two pieces of advice around growth. I mean, obviously, not just growth in a crisis, but you know, you all obviously, when you start a business, growth is part of the vision and the journey, right? So, for you, in terms of business growth, what are the two things that you felt were important to focus on? You know, and that really helped you with the growth aspect.
What helped me, and I've learned to really hold it more closer and have more clarity, is the vision of where my company is. So kind of saying, okay, so in where do what can we call the perfect setting for where we want to go. And having spent time with that, I realized, okay, that for me is good. That's not a perfect setting. This is part of a perfect setting. This isn't part of a perfect setting. And clarity, by having that clarity can actually help me now kind of choose what type of growth activities I actually do. So that is the first part. I guess the second part is I stopped being scared of failing. I try, but try and don't move slowly or too cautious from a um, 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 from a place of fear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you are still going to fail. That's just
Mm-hmm.
that's just how actually how it actually rolls. But by taking every lesson, every gem, every precious stone um, um, that can be found from the from that from that failure, and using it, you're actually going to get so much going to get so much more than had you actually succeeded, right? So
Mm.
don't move in fear, um, and always see exactly what it is that you kind of want to actually achieve, and go towards it with that in
Mm.
mind. That's my 2 points.
Sage advice. Thanks so much, Letu. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. Thanks so much, Letu. I appreciate it. You and I have a bit of a history. Letu also does my website maintenance and updates, and I've been your client for a while, so, if you also want any information on the services that Letu offers and so on, you can chat to me about it, and you can also get her contact from me if you're looking for any services in that arena. But thank you, Letu, for joining us. I really appreciate it. I really wanted to speak to you because I know that, from the time we've met to where you are now, I feel like your business has grown a lot, and despite the ups and downs of it, you are really, you're showing the way, in a sense, in terms of how to walk this path. So I admire you a lot. So thank you so much for making the time to be with us, and thanks everyone for joining the conversation. We'll keep you updated about the next conversation as well. Have a
Thank
good
you all so
evening.
much.
Thanks,
Thank you all so
Letu.
much.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.